this year's team because the girls have worked really hard and have worked really well together. I didn't really have a most valuable player on this team because during the course of the season, it could have been anybody. We played so well together and we played like a team, and that is something that this team can be proud of. We finished the season at 8-15, and we've had it tough because our sub-region is naturally tough, but if you look at our off games or our non-sub-region games, they did not lose as many as we won combined. And when that Gordon Central and Calhoun and Gilmer and those people, they went on to the state. So I think that this team has nothing to be ashamed of when they can hold their heads high to say that they finished at 8-15 because we beat the people that we were supposed to beat, and we somewhere along the way upset some of the powerhouses such as Southeast in the Christmas tournament and Northwest, who we know that went on to the state tournament, and naturally the powerhouse of Ringo. I think the only team that we did not beat in the sub-region this year was Dalton, but we fought them tooth and nail every time that we played them, and we're going to get them next year. The old cliche is always wait until next year, and I believe that when you wait until next year, you will see a much improved team because these girls go to the gym just about every Monday night, and our seniors come along and help them, and they scrimmage with them to make this next year's team to be a better team. But tonight we're here to honor this year's team, and they really deserve it. Right now, I would like for when I call your name to come up and get your varsity letter certificate and remain standing so they can give you all one big round of applause after we've given the certificates. The first person is Senior Donna Atkins, Senior Tracy Lentz, Senior Lestane Reimer, Junior Sandra Pebbles Adams. I don't think we know her as anything else but Pebbles on the basketball floor. A kid in class asked me the other day, or one day during the season, they said, who's your leading scorer? And I said, Sandra. They said, who's that? I said, Pebbles. They said, oh, I know her. Junior Judine Bowling, Junior Rhonda Carr, Junior Stacy Coffey, Junior Holly Coffey, Junior Marcy Coulter, Junior Teresa Turner, and I do not believe that you will find a more dedicated young lady than Teresa Turner. With the accident that she has had, she has never once complained about having to come to practice. As a matter of fact, she apologizes when she has to go to the physical therapist to miss practice. She has gone through every gut sprint that we have ever run. She's gone through every Indian relay that we have ever run, and she has never complained, yet she knew that the chances of her playing were practically slim and none, and I'm very proud of this young lady. Junior Robin Weaver, sophomore Kim Gribble, sophomore Teresa Hedrick, sophomore Karma Sullivan, and sophomore Robin Wilson. Please give these ladies a round of applause. It is well deserved. Y'all may have a seat. Okay. And now I would like to begin with the awards for our varsity program. Our first award is a senior award. This young lady has been with us for the last 4 years, and in particular with me the last 2 years. She's very dedicated. She never complains, and she's always willing to do what she can do to help our basketball team. I would like to thank her and wish her well in the future, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's decided to go to college at Berry College. And this award goes to Miss Donna Atkins. Our next award is for the most assists, And this goes to the young lady who ran our show, and she ran it very well. She matured so much from last year. She took a lot from the opposing defenses, but she never once folded. She always held her head high. She even taught one girl how to spell ball, or tell her what B-A-L-L spelled, and I was very impressed with that she knew that. She led our team in assists, and she probably would have had many, many more if we could have hit a decent percentage from inside of the paint. I would also like to thank her. She is a senior, and wish her well in her future and whatever that she does. And this award goes to Miss Tracy Lynn. Our next award is the Most Improved Defensive Player. Now, this young lady has always been able to shoot and to rebound fairly well, but later, in the latter part of the season, she came on and she began rebounding well. She began blocking passes. She began blocking shots. And she didn't just do it one-handed. She would jump up and slap it back in their face two-handed. I'm looking forward to having her back next year and hope that she keeps improving as much from this year to next year as she did from the beginning of this season to the end of this season. And this goes to Miss Stacy Coffey. Are you embarrassed? The next award is our Most Improved Offensive Player. She has worked very hard this season, and not only offensively but defensively, because she's had some very tough assignments. Normally she comes up against people who are 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and she's held her own. But she has improved mostly in her offensive game. She has improved in her offensive rebounds to where she is second leading rebounder on the team. She's learned to hold on to the ball, which is, it's not very easy when you got 5 hands in your face and the ball's coming at you as hard as it can so we can score. And she's learned to put it in the hoop very nicely. She works very hard in the off season. I see her at the gym every Monday night, and I see her working very hard in PE. I'm looking forward to having her back next year, and I'm expecting much scoring from this young lady next year also. And this goes to Miss Sandra Pebbles Adams. The next award is the Most Valuable Defensive Player. This person was third in rebounding and third in scoring, but you have to remember when I say third in scoring, we had 4 people to average anywhere from 9.5 points to 10.5 points, and the difference is only like 1/10 or 2/10 of a point. But this person led our team in steals also. She just seemed to come out of nowhere and end up with the ball, and we're very grateful for that. And we're expecting much from her next year offensively and defensively. But my most valuable defensive player is Miss Robin Weaver. Okay. The next award is the Most Valuable Offensive Award. And this was really a shock to me, and I am very, very pleased with the way that this young lady has come on in the past year, and I'm expecting great things out of her next year. Last year, I don't even remember if she played varsity. I think she filled a uniform at one point during the year, and that was about it. I really don't. I think she's grown from about maybe 5'4" last year to about 5'8" this year. She led our team in free throw shooting percentage, and she led our team in scoring. And what is so remarkable about this is that she did it from the inside and the outside. If you put someone, a small player, on her, we'd put her inside and she'd score. If you put a bigger or taller player on her, we'd put her outside and she'd take it around and take it in and score. She was not shy at shooting because she shot the ball very well. And I am very pleased to have this young lady back next year, and I have big aspirations for her. And the most valuable offensive player is Miss Judine Bowling. Okay, my next award is the Coach's Award. And this award is an award that I like to give to the player who does anything that they have been asked to do without complaining and without saying, but Coach, I can't do it. And this young lady never did this. When I first came here, she was a wing player, and things happened where I had to pull her up to the point guard, something that I understand that she's never played before. She started out, I think, in the 8th grade as a center. If I remember a note that was read correctly, it was to center from point guard, and my point guard is now my center, and my center is now my point guard. But I pulled her up to play point guard after the injury to Teresa, and I also would grab her up and I say, hey, go in and shoot the three. Well, I tell you what, people, next year she will be shooting the three. And we play horse in PE every day, and we don't just play it, we play it from the three-point range. And we play with Coach Ross, who never misses a shot. It's always, I'm not going behind Coach Ross, but they all want to go after me, and you probably know why. However, this young lady beat Coach Ross not only once, but she's beat him twice, and now he's saying, I don't want to go after her, and this is Miss Marcy Coulter. And then finally, the last award that I have to give is the best all-around player, because as I said before, if I was giving an MVP player or an MVP, it would depend upon what night of the week it was that we were playing. But this young lady did everything for us. She was our leading rebounder, and she had well over 300 rebounds for the season, and that's a remarkable accomplishment within itself. She was second in scoring, which was just like I said, 1/10 of a point behind our leading scorer. She was second in steals, and she even had a few assists. And I would also like to wish her well in her bright future, and that is Miss Lestine Reimer. And now I'll turn the program back over to Coach Ross.
At this time, I'd like to recognize my two assistant coaches. If you'll stand up, Mitch Holcomb, who coaches the freshman team, and Gary Wise, who coaches the B team. These two fellas are very cooperative. They work hard, and I don't think I could have two better assistant coaches, so I appreciate their effort. At this time, I'd like to call on Coach Holcomb to give the Freshman Boys Award.
The first thing I want to say is I didn't write no speech down. Tanja, you and Coach Dilbeck, y'all had to practice for the last 3 weeks, had to, you know. Nobody never said a wrong word or anything, you know, it was perfect. So, you know, I'm going to stumble around here, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to start off by thanking a few people, the Tip-Off Club, the money they give us, and, you know, freshmen usually don't get much, but this year we kind of begged them out of some sweats, and I didn't tell them how much they were until after we got them and wore them a couple of games. So, you know, kind of figured that's the way you get things. You know, you go buy it and use it a couple of times, then you tell them how much it is, and you usually can't say much. But I'd like to thank the Tip-Off Club. I'd also like to thank the parents. Freshman teams, we always had to practice 5, 7, 2, 1, 4. Just whenever, you know, we get a gym, and a lot of times we just had to call it off because it gets so confused for our gym sometimes. So the parents, you know, especially with the freshman teams, B teams, 5 or 6 o'clock, you know, that's when we start practice, and we usually end about 7:30 or 8. I also like to thank Coach Ross and Coach Wise, you know, working with them. Again, you know, it's scheduling the gyms. It's hard sometimes, and Coach Wise and I, we practice usually together all the time. We have some good scrimmages. I believe, seriously, this helped our teams both to scrimmage each other. And it's usually been a war out there every night just about, you know, in scrimmaging the freshman and B team. I also like to thank the players. Like I say again, we practice 5 and 6 o'clock every night. They asked me, Coach, when we're going to practice again? I said, I don't know. Just bring your stuff ready to practice tomorrow at school, and we'll practice between now and tomorrow and midnight. I don't know when. You know, we'll practice. But anyway, go ahead and talk about the season a little bit. We were 5-6. We had 11 games. We started out 0-4, and I was about ready to quit there for a while. Kind of got worried, but we come back after Christmas and beat a few teams that beat us before Christmas, and ended up really with a good season. This is a very peculiar bunch. Couldn't figure them out. I had to lose my temper a few times with them, try to give them a play. You know, I'd had to scream at them. I don't like screaming. You know, everybody knows that. And, you know, but I had to get on to them a few times. But when I got on to them and they started playing ball like I could, they were pretty tough. You know, we didn't have very many. We had 11 players. I'd like to go ahead and introduce the players. And guys, when I call your name, stand up and remain standing till I get everybody. Then you can sit back down. I know y'all don't like to be seen. Joe Young, he played guard, point guard to start the season. Every now and then he'd turn the ball over and lose it, get it stolen from him, so I kind of moved him over to wing. But Joe did a good job for us. Joe's got a lot of talents that a lot of people don't know about. I think when he becomes of maturity and his little age on him, he's going to be a good athlete. Mitchell Pittman. Got a pretty big bunch, too. You know, last 2 years I've had a big team. Mitchell, he played forward, center, and guard. Just, you know, whenever I could get him to play, you know, he was good. You know, he's one of those I had to scream at every now and then. Jeff Hensley. Jeff here. Jeff, he played forward and guard. And Jeff, he's one of those, he could shoot the eyes out of it, but he wouldn't shoot it. His base, the first person I ever seen his base was shoot the ball. You didn't have to tell nobody else on my team not to do that. Thomas Sloan, he played center and forward. Thomas, I believe he's transferring to, where's he? I believe he's transferring to Southeast or Dalton 1. So we're going to lose Thomas, but Thomas, he helps out a lot this year. Sean Baines. Sean played, he played a few positions. He played guard, forward, and center at times. I believe if his mother would have took him earlier and got those contacts, he might have been the leading scorer at the end of the season. Sean is about going to like the second or, we had like one game left, and he got some new contacts. He come to me and said, "Coach, I can see the rim now." I was like, "Oh." And Sean started scoring too. Believe it or not, he started shooting good. You know, I believe he zeroed in there. Chris Baggett. Chris, he played forward and guard. So now Chris doesn't look like a guard. But believe me, he can get out there. He can dribble the ball good. He can handle the ball. He can handle himself well for his size. Chris, to tell you the truth, he brings back old memories. He reminds me of his brother. You know, his brother used to, when he'd go in the ball game, something was going to happen. I don't know what. Somebody's going to either get thrown up against the wall or, you know, he's going to make something happen. But Chris, he contributed a lot to this year's team and did a good job. Jason Garland. Jason played guard and forward. Michael Carter. And Michael Carter, he played guard. And there's one thing I can say about the man. It was an unknown secret till we played Calhoun. With down at Calhoun, you know, I got 2 or 3 that could maybe even get it to the rim from the three-point range. But Carter, he goes into the game and he hits 3 three-pointers right in a row against Calhoun. You know, it's unknown, you know, to me, you know. And I said, what's going on here, you know? Michael played guard, did a good job. Russ Bridges. Russ, he played center. Russ did a good job this year. I believe in years to come, you'll see how big Russ. You know, he's 6'4", close to 6'4", about 215. That might be light for Russ. He might be 220. Russ is, I do believe if he keeps growing, if he'll keep practicing now, he's going to be a great player. He's got the size, he's got the ability. I just got to get him mean. He just, you know, I just about beg him, Russ, I won't care if you'll foul somebody. You know, I beg him to go in and just slap somebody. I didn't care, you know. Russ did a good job. Michael Parker, see here? Michael played forward and center. Andrew Lipsy. Andrew, he's another one. Now, I tell you what, we're talking about Jeff Hensley. Andrew was the opposite of Jeff. Andrew didn't mind shooting the ball when he went in the game. And I have to be honest about Andrew. The boy's got some moves. He's got some moves that people hadn't seen before. I'm telling you, Andrew, he did a good job. in practice, Andrew is probably the most competitive practice player I've ever seen. I mean, in practice, it was like a championship, and that's what you got to be a winner. And Andrew, he did a good job. That's the team for this year. Y'all guys can sit down. I'm not going to stay up here much longer. I'm not going to cut any wisecracks to Coach Wise because I know he's done got something planned for me. So I'm not going to say a word about him, but got a couple of trophies I want to give out here. The first one I want to give out is a most improved player. Most improved player. This year is the first year in history of Maury County the freshman's ever got 2 trophies. Coach Ross told me, I asked him, I said, well, how many trophies can I give? And he said, oh, just give as many as you want to. That guy over there, he just charges the same price no matter how many we give. It didn't matter if we gave 1 or 5, it's going to be the same price. He's making his money. But so I went in Coach Ross' office. I had about 10 trophies I was going to give. You know, he told me to give, you know, and he said, no, I went there, he said, you got your list of trophies? I went there and started naming off this stuff, and he said, wait a minute now, you know, I just told you. Anyway, given the most improved player, this guy, he improved a whole lot during the season. I feel like at times I put a lot of pressure on him, but there's certain players you have to put pressure on. People you think that's going to kind of lead your team out there in direct traffic, and you kind of depend on these people to do this. And this guy, I mean, one game I took him out, and I was mad at somebody else, but I grabbed him, and I was shaking him, screaming at him, you know, and I really didn't mean to. I felt kind of bad about it afterwards. I told Joe, I said, Joe, you was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But this year's most improved goes to Joe Young. The next trophy I'm giving out is a most valuable player. This one was a hard one to pick, to tell you the truth, because I had 5 or 6 people really was most valuable player. But this guy, my blood pressure probably went over, no telling what, a few times with this guy. You know, he could go in one game and score 21 points and be an All-American. The next game, you know, it was total opposite, and I just couldn't understand it. I'd ask him, why? I don't know, Coach. I don't, you know. But this guy, he's a great competitor. He gave it all he had on the court. He give his body up, and that's what a coach wants. He wants a player to come out there and give his body up, and this guy did. He led the team in scoring. I believe he averaged right around 14 points a game. You know, it would have been a lot more than that, but he'd scored 21 one game and 2 the next. You know, so it equaled out to about 14 a game. Defensive-wise, he played good defense. He doesn't look like a basketball player's sense of the tall, slim look, but he played great defense. He had a real good perception. You know, he's kind of like a defensive back in the secondary. He could pick off passes. He knew where the ball was going when he was playing defense. On offense, you know, he scored inside, he scored outside, and he didn't score much outside. I couldn't figure that out either. But anyway, this guy, he did a great job this year, and this year's MVP is Mitchell Pittman. He played guard most of the time, believe it or not. Closing, I'd like to say I really enjoyed working with this group of guys this year. Anything I did with them, it was all right with them. You know, if I went out there and I was in a bad mood and I run them 10 blood and guts and did this to them and did that to them, hey, after practice, they was all fine. You know, we was all clowning around, shooting. That's what it's all about, to go out here, have a good time. You know, everybody gets to play, and to me, having a good time and all the guys enjoying it means a lot to me, because, you know, this putting a lot of pressure on these guys. It's too much. The last thing I want to talk about, and I'll let y'all go, I can't remember just 2 mistakes I made this year. One of them was in the Northwest game. I didn't call timeout when I should have, and we got blowed out pretty bad. And I'll mention this last mistake, and I'll sit down. The last mistake, and it's probably the worst mistake I've made in about 2 or 3 years, as a matter of fact. is I officiated my wife's basketball game this year. that might have been the worst mistake I've made in a long time. I'll close on that one right there.
Coach Gary Wise, the B-Team Awards.
That last mistake, Mitch, could have been fatal. Okay. I'd like to, first of all, just name off my B-Team players, and y'all can just stand where you at, guys. Jason Reed, Jody Phillips, Chris Bolden, Ryan Richards, Greg Linder, Andy Dotson, Chad Parker, and we had 3 freshmen that helped us out, and I really appreciate it. Sean Baines, Mitchell Pittman, and Thomas Sloan. These guys did a good job. If y'all would give them a little hand there. Y'all gonna have to make a decision now. Y'all gonna have to decide whether I'm live or whether I'm Memorex tonight, too. I'd like to thank the administration, like Mr. McNeil and Coach Ross and our superintendent, because they do a lot in helping athletics around, and I appreciate that. Of course, I need to thank the tip-off club, but that's the parents. The parents, y'all do a great job. I really appreciate it. And somebody special I want to thank, and I learned how to appreciate this lady when I worked at the wrestling match, in the professional wrestling, that's how you pronounce it, isn't it? Worked in that concession stand, and that's Mona Linder, and she's right over there, and y'all need to give her a big hand, because let me tell you, that is hard work, and let me tell you, they make the best. I believe one of the news media around here had, you know, our hot dogs as being the best, and I'll tell you, that's true now, folks, and people wonder why it's so tough to win on the road. Go eat some hot dogs at another school somewhere. It's tough. It's tough. Of course, I want to thank our B-Team cheerleaders. They did a great job, and girls, you know, I told you in football season that y'all were number 1 in my poll. You still are. Got some bad news for you today, though. I got the USA Today, and you've dropped to number 3 in their poll, but that's all right. My bird died. I don't even get that paper anymore. Okay. I kind of got on the varsity cheerleaders last year because they missed the dunk, so I'm going to have to, you know, kind of apologize. The varsity cheerleaders, let me tell you, they do a great job, and let me tell you, folks, if you didn't know it, they make straight A's. Straight A's, I'm telling you, folks, it's true. Those little signs they put around the school, their A's are solid straight. Now, their B's are a mite crooked, but they're straight A's. Straight A's. I'm proud of them. Okay? And now I need to take care of the rumors. Now, for all y'all that didn't know it about this time of year last year, Coach Ross was looking to go and take the New York Knicks head coaching job. It's true. It was in all the papers. And you know, of course, he did not get it. That was in the papers as well. But anyway, though, what I couldn't believe, he was real dejected about it. What I couldn't believe was, you know, the guy they gave it to. I mean, you know, sure, the guy sends his team to the Final Four. But I looked it up, folks. He has never beaten Gilmer County. Ever. Ever. Not only that, Coach Ross has never lost in Madison Square Gardens either. So, you know. But now Coach was real dejected, and he was going, oh, Coach, you know, I was going to get to coach Patrick Ewing, probably the best low post pivot man maybe in the world. And I says, come on, Coach, now, you know, we got Shane Ledford. So, you know, he's feeling a little better about that, and I'm glad he stayed because we had a real enjoyable year this year. Now, I got to take care of the rumor, speaking of politics, you know, got to take care of the rumor. The rumor is that I'm running for the Democratic president ticket. You know, and I wondered, how in the world did that rumor get started? Well, I found out. I was watching TV the other day, and my buddy Gary Hart, y'all know Gary, don't you now, right? My buddy Gary Hart, it was talking about that his strategy was he was going to use very little media and have very little organization. Well, everybody knows that's how I've been running my B-team basketball team for years. So, you know, all I got to say to that, you know, if you ask me, am I running for political office, Gary, we're going to let the people decide, right? Okay. Now, this award here tonight that I'm going to give, I think I could have given it to any 4 players and been satisfied. And I think the important thing to remember is it's not just the person that gets the award, how they react, but it's also how the people that don't get it react. And I think my players are unselfish enough that the ones that don't get it will react in a positive nature. But this is for the Outstanding B-Team Award. And, of course, at times this guy was outstanding, and I had to get on to him. He was out standing around instead of playing defense. But if you don't know about my little B team this year, we had a little crisis there at the first of the season. 2 players got projected into the varsity ranks, and we felt like that was going to happen sooner or later anyway. So, you know, we had a little team meeting, and we decided right quick like we weren't going to cry. I hate to see a grown man cry, especially when it's me. And the second thing we decided was that we were going to dance with the ones that brung us. In other words, we were going to play with the ones we had, and we were going to have to move some positions, and that is one reason this guy is going to get this award, because he had to move to a different position, and I didn't ask him to either. I told him. So, you know, and it was entirely new, and Linda's talking about the point guard. When I asked the guys to sign up last spring and tell me what position they played, this guy wrote point guard on there, and that's as close as he got to it, was writing it on a sheet of paper, because he never played it. And the second disadvantage he had was he had me as a coach. So, you know, he was really working from a disadvantage. And I'll tell you what, the first game of the year, at the end of the game, I'm going, this guy, he's the worst player on the floor. He's terrible. And I'm just going, you know, what am I going to do, you know? And so I decided I'm going to work with him. I worked with him, but he got better anyway. So, you know. In the first 3 games, though, he averaged 5 points a game. In the last 3 games, he averaged 20 points a game. So I think that he improved despite me and despite everything I could do. But, you know, let me tell you about statistics. Statistics, they're like these bikini bathing suits, folks. They show a lot, but they don't show it all. That's true. And this guy was better than just a statistical player, just better than just on paper. And this award goes to Jody Phillips.
I don't have any idea how I got into this, but they just had me follow up here. Seems like the team and I wanted to give Coach Wise a little something for all of us. We figured he had enough plaques and all, so we decided to give him this gift certificate from the mall. So, Coach Wise.
Thank you, sir. You hug me all slow.
First of all, we'd like to thank everyone that supported us this year. And I know we didn't have a winning season, but one thing we did learn, that in order to have a winning team, you must work together as a team. And one thing we did learn, that you must always support and encourage each other. And we'd like to thank y'all very much for your support. Thank you.
Teresa Turner's written something she'd like to say.
I get to school and they say, Teresa, we don't know what to say, so we want you to write us a poem. I said, well, that's fine, I'll write it, no problem. I come to the door late. Teresa, we want you to read this poem. Great, okay. But we'd like to, I hope it's decently good, but here you go, Coach Debate, this is to you. Through our many tiresome practices, you helped us to become our best. But all we ever thought of was, when do we get to rest? Not once did we look at your side or your reason for being there.
We never stopped and realized just how much our coach must care. All those times we wanted to quit, never realized that maybe you did too. And when we gained a single victory, we never stopped to even thank you. But now as we look back at our season and all the fun that we've been through, we must definitely stop and simply say, Coach Dilbeck, we appreciate you. There you go, Coach Dilbeck. Sorry, take two.
Okay, the boys varsity basketball team. Our record this year was 10-13. I know they would like to have won a few more, and I would also, but I feel like this is one of the best 10-13 teams that I've coached, and they worked hard all year. They came to the gym faithfully and worked in the off season. The games that we did lose, we played some very good teams this year, and the games we did lose, we were in, I think, every game that we played this year. We beat some teams that maybe we shouldn't have beat. Like Southeast was undefeated. We were the only team in this area to beat them till they got to, us and the state champion team, Madison County, was the only team to beat Southeast. And we also beat Calhoun when they were either undefeated or just lost one game. So we had a very good team despite our 10-13 record. We won third place in the Murray County Invitational Tournament, and like I say, this is a very good team. And one thing that I'll have to say about this team, we went through an entire season without any discipline problems. Not a single one got in trouble in school, or we didn't have any trouble as far as practice is concerned. So this speaks well for the character of this group of boys. Okay, I'll start off with the most assists award. Okay, this goes to a sophomore. He got 149 assists. He not only got a lot of assists, he rebounded well, he plays good defense, and he shows excellent poise for a sophomore. And this goes to David Massengale. Okay, the next award is based strictly on statistics. This is a free throw award, and this boy hit 67% of his free throws, and especially in the Calhoun game, I remember he hit 12 for 14 going down the stretch against Calhoun, and he also scored a good many points this year for us. I believe he lost my place here. He scored 206 points, and this goes to Mark Hensley. Okay, the next two awards are coaches' awards, and I think everybody understands what a coaches' award is based on. This is a player who is very cooperative in practice as well as a game and has an excellent attitude. And the first coaches' award goes to a boy who had 100 assists. He was a very unselfish ball player and team player. He was very valuable when teams started to press us, and late in the game, he helped us win a good many ball games. This goes to Doyle Ridley. Okay, the other coach's award goes to a senior also. He was an excellent defensive player and rebounder, and he went in when we needed him. He didn't complain when he had to sit on the bench sometime, and he was excellent both on offense and defense for us. This goes to Scott Davis. Okay, the next award is the most valuable offensive player. All right, this goes to a boy who scored 280 points for us after getting off to a slow start. It was partially due to an ankle injury. He is the best leaper on the team. He has an excellent jump shot, and we played him a lot on the low post this year. He'll probably move outside more next year, but he drew a lot of traffic down on the low post because people covered him, and this enabled Scott Bishop to get a lot of shots off the high post. So this most valuable offensive player goes to Mickey Gable. Okay, the most valuable defensive player goes to a boy. We didn't keep this statistic because I don't like for people just to go after shots and try to block them. I feel like you get a lot of fouls when you do this. But if we'd have kept the statistics, he blocked more shots probably than anybody on the team. He put the ball back in Steve Smith's face about 3 times from Calhoun. He is also an excellent leaper to be only 6 feet tall. And from the first of the season to the end of the season, I think he was our most improved defensive player. So the most valuable defensive player goes to Scott Bishop. Scott also led the team in scoring with 316 points. Okay, the next award is the most valuable player, overall most valuable player. All right, this person led the team in field goal percent with 51%. He scored 230 points. He had 109 assists, which was second. He led the team in rebounds with 206. He led the team in performance points. We have a system where they can make points for other things other than scoring. So on every chart, just about it, this boy led in performance points. And he seemed to always be in the right place at the right time on the court. This goes to Orville Stuckey. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Don Standridge from Channel 10.
Well, if you're all wondering who I am, I'm the goofy-sounding guy that you heard on the basketball games on Channel 10. And it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that, so I didn't really know anything about basketball. But I had a good time doing it. We enjoyed doing it for Murray County. We've got a great season in football planned for you. If everything goes according to schedule like it is right now, we'll be carrying not only your home football games, but also your away ball games. And tonight, I'm going to present something that we will start on an annual basis. Next year, I hope, if everything goes well, I'll be back again. And we'd like to pick 2 people each year, seniors who have shown outstanding leadership abilities, good basketball skills, of course, but a good team leader. And we've chosen 1 boy and 1 girl from both teams. The first one I'd like to present for the girls' team, I don't really know her that well. I don't really know any of them that well yet. But as time goes on, I'm sure we'll all become good friends. But Lestine Reimer, if you'd come up just for a minute. And for the boys, Doyle Ridley. Now, these plaques say TV10's outstanding player, and it probably doesn't say it all. But like I said, we've enjoyed doing this for you. We look forward to doing it again next year. We'll be able to carry more ball games for you. And I think me and Mr. McNeil are going to be working on a school film for you that will be able to tell you all about what's going on at Murray County. So thank you.
Okay, on behalf of the B Team girls and their parents, we'd like to present a plaque to Coach Emma Long and Coach Kay Holcomb for all their help. And this is another one of Teresa's poems she had to write last minute, so I'll read it to you. It goes, we appreciate all your work in helping us to become our best, because when a coach cares like you, it seems to set you above the rest. And we also like to thank the Tip-Off Club for buying our sweats this year. They really come in handy. Thank you.
On behalf of the 1987-88 boys basketball team, we'd like to present Coach Ross with a gift certificate, a little bit of appreciation for all the help you give so far. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. I still get nervous up here. I forgot the letter awards, so we'll back up on those. Okay, first I'm gonna call us. I'll call us his groups here. The seniors first. Doyle Ridley, if you'll come and stand up here, Doyle. Scott Davis, senior. Orville Stuckey, senior. Mark Hensley, senior. Okay, this is our 4 seniors this year. They worked hard. They did an excellent job. I think they deserve a round of applause. Okay, the next group is our upcoming seniors who are juniors now. Scott Bishop. Mickey Gable. Shane Ledford. Brian Johnson. And Darren Atkins. Okay, we're looking for a lot out of these fellas next year. They're already come to the gym faithfully, and they're working hard getting ready for next year. Okay, we had 2 sophomores on the team, and that's David Massengill and Ricky Gregg, if you'll come up. As you can see, we've got some pretty good-sized fellas coming back here, so we're expecting a lot out of these young men next year. Okay, thank you, fellas. Okay, I have 2 other fellows I'd like to recognize. These 2 young men kept the statistics for us, and Sean Knowles, if you'll come forward. Sean not only kept statistics at the game, but he kept everything on computer for us, and that made everything real nice as far as keeping up with it. Appreciate it, Sean. Okay, helping Sean, we had James Kirkpatrick on statistics. And fellas, I have a plaque for y'all that somehow they didn't get put in, but I'll give it to you later. Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize the Murray County Tip-Off Club, and we had two co-presidents this year, Neil and Mona Linder, and I think they did an excellent job, and we appreciate all the help that they did for us and send us to camp and help buying some of the equipment that we had this year, and I think they deserve a round of applause, and I'd like for them to come forward and maybe recognize some of the other officers in the club.
They say the best to last, and that's Mona. We'd like to recognize the officers. We're the presidents of the Tip-Off Club. Kay Case is the treasurer, Kay if you'll stand. And, of course, Keith helps her out, and that's her better half, I guess. And Brenda Chambers is the vice president. Brenda, where are you? And Patsy Butler. Patsy, where'd you go? I can't, there she is. And these are the officers of the 1987-88 Murray County Tip-Off Club. We'd like to welcome all of you back next year. We're going to have our next meeting scheduled on April 11th, the second Monday in April. We're going to be electing officers for that time next year. We'd like for you to come. At this time, I want to thank three people who have helped us out a great deal. The Cohutta Banking Company, First National Bank of Chatsworth, and the Coca-Cola Company. Now, they provided us, as a family, an opportunity to learn a lot of things. And that's with the concession stand. We learned how to make hot dogs. That's something in popcorn. And Mona learned all about professional wrestling. So we'd like to welcome y'all back next year and to be members of the Murray County Tip-Off Club. We'd like to thank Kenneth and all the coaches for the fine job they did with the kids and the basketball players. We leave out anybody? Okay. We'll turn it over to Kenneth and Jimmy.
Okay, next I'd like to recognize Mr. Doug Hawley from the Dalton News Citizen.
Thank you, Coach Ross, head table dignitaries, Murray County players, cheerleaders, and Murray County fans. The Daily Citizen News is happy each year to sponsor the Region 7 AAA North All-Star teams and also the Dalton area all-academic teams. That's exclusive for seniors. You have one boy and one girl selected on the Region 7 AAA North All-Star team, and I think you can consider it quite an honor when you figure it's the head coaches in the sub-region plus members of the media. So you have quite a varied view of opinion. For the girls, Lestine Reimer. On the boys, Mickey Gable. Congratulations. Okay, on the all-academic team, this is exclusively for seniors. We've been doing this, I guess, for about 15 years as far as football and basketball. Now, on the all-academic team, you have to maintain over a 4-year high school career a minimum of 3.3 on a 4.0 system. So obviously these folks know how to budget their time as far as the court and also the books. The girls, Donna Atkins. On the boys, Scott Bishop. Pardon me? Sorry, Scott Davis. Okay. I better give you nothing. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, Scott's going to get that award next year. Okay, at this time we have one other person that I'd like to recognize. He was my former high school coach, Mr. C.W. Bradley. If you'll stand up, please. I believe at one time Mr. Bradley had 3 of his former players that won state championships. That was J.B. Hawkins, Bill Inslee, and myself. Isn't that right? Was there any others? I think that's he must have known what he's doing to get us to motivate us well enough that we could go on and coach and maybe win state championships. So I appreciate Mr. Bradley. He probably had a lot to do with me going on to school. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask that everybody that won trophies please stay to get your pictures made after the program. Does anybody else have any awards? Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Jimmy Phillips to do the benediction.
Bow our heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, we again thank you for the night, for the festivities that we've had. God, we pray that you might would go with each senior that will be graduating, God, that you might would guide and direct their lives. And Lord, we pray that through the coaches, through the time that they've had during this sport, God, that it might would help them to be stronger young men and women. And Lord, we pray for our upcoming season. We ask you, God, that you might would bless us. We pray, God, that you might would continue to bless the tip-off club as they try to support the basketball program. Again, Lord, go with us to our homes. Watch over each one here and care for us. And we'll praise you and thank you for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.